Between summer storms or winter blizzards, many areas of the country are prone to blackouts. This is why I highly recommend the power light bulb.
It charges a built-in battery, and it'll detect if you have a power outage. And when it detects that, it'll activate the LED component above.
Get the power light bulb for 67% off today by going to www.powerlightbulb or clicking the link below. Good afternoon. I'm still reporting on the coup. To all the American haters out there, this is what it took to build this mighty nation that you are trying to destroy in your spare time when you aren't smoking weed. Let me tell you, our time on this planet is so short. You'll never realize it until you get to be my age. Then you'll regret it and wish you had listened to the wisdom of the aged in your youths. America wasn't just born rich and strong. It was built by people who worked hard, not just for themselves to benefit, but worked hard and sacrificed much for the common good. Americans became famous for taking risks to maintain their freedom. Today, April 17th, in 1942, we do not exactly celebrate, but we can commemorate a single day where a handful of brave Americans risked it all for the common good. Yes, they accidentally killed innocent Japanese that day, but it was the only way to turn back the tide of a voracious Japanese military that was allied with Hitler to take over their half of the world, the Pacific half, and permanently enslave us all. On April 17, 1942, the aircraft carrier Hornet steamed west across the Pacific, several hundred miles from Japan. Lashed to its decks were 16 B-25 bombers, planes that never before launched from a carrier on a combat mission. Their secret target, Tokyo. In the 4 months after Pearl Harbor, Japan's forces had surged across the Pacific. The Japanese were confident their nation was safe from attack. Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Doolittle and 79 other airmen were determined to prove them wrong with a surprise air attack from the sea. It was almost a suicide mission. They knew they would not have enough fuel to return to the Hornet, so they planned to land in China after dropping their bombs. Early on April 18th, a Japanese patrol boat spotted the task force, and Doolittle realized he must launch earlier than planned. His airmen had spent months training but had never taken off in the midst of a howling storm. Doolittle got his plane off the pitching deck first and into the air, with the other B-25s following. The bombers roared towards Japan, just 20 feet above the waves to avoid detection. The attack was a complete surprise. Many Japanese waved as the bombers flew overhead, not dreaming they could be American aircraft. The raiders quickly dropped their bombs on Tokyo and other targets and sped away. Doolittle and his crews continued towards China, where they crash-landed or parachuted from their planes as they ran out of fuel. One bomber landed in Russia. Most of the men eventually made it home. The audacious attack did little physical damage, but it stunned the Japanese. News of Jimmy Doolittle's 30 seconds over Tokyo electrified Americans and helped turn the tide of the war in the Pacific. After the Japanese surrendered, they became friends with the United States, thanks to very favorable treatment provided by their American victors. And now China has become a communist revolutionary nation, no longer interested in the sovereignty of their nation and other nations, only interested in the raw acquisition of power and world domination. The point of this little story is that throughout history, the most noteworthy Americans have been what's called rugged individualists. We want to live in a free nation so that we can live out our destiny the way we think is best. We don't like coercive governments telling us what to do, like forcing us to wear slave masks as a symbol of our compliance to state power. And we are willing to make huge sacrifices in order to secure the future of such a nation, even if it means our untimely death. The same goes for the characters of nation-states. In order to keep our world out of the grip of the dictatorial minions of Satan, we have to insist on a rugged individualism of nation-states. It's called sovereignty, state sovereignty. Nation-states need to not give up their power to centralized transnational entities. Internally, nations need to deconsolidate power to the greatest possible extent which is possible. They need their own sovereign money systems, their own economic systems, and free and fair elections so that their inhabitants, not some oligarch, have at least some portion of the political power. Competition in political systems and economic systems is as healthy for nations as it is among individuals. Allowing competitions allows incentive-driven societies. Without such incentives, humanity would never improve. Humanity can only devolve into the law of the jungle where might makes right. Artificially handcuffing incentive-driven societies brings bad outcomes to every single person on this planet, including life devolving into only a binary choice: perpetual servitude and slavery, or perpetual war. I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good day. VirtualShield lets you browse the web completely anonymously, so the big-name internet service providers and their third parties will not be able to monitor and sell your internet activity and browsing history. When using our VPN service, your traffic is routed through our secure and encrypted servers. The good news is it's completely free for 30 days, and we can host Mac, Windows, iPhone, iPad, Android, or Chrome. Personal, family, and business plans are available. Just click on the live link in the description box below for more information.